There's a hot baking trend that's taking over social media, but it's something that's been around forever.
I am thrilled to see so many people out there baking, especially bread at home.
But it's a labor of love. It'll be about a week before you're eating your tasty creation. One of our favorite chefs, John Paul Hutchins, is giving us some pro tips on how to make a homemade sourdough bread starter. First, mix water and flour.
The flour that I'm using is 90% bread flour and 10% whole wheat flour. And the reason is whole wheat flour actually gives a little more food to the yeast, a little more get up and go.
Instead of buying a packet of yeast from the store, you're making your own by fermenting flour and water.
Because the yeast is all around us. It's on our hands, it's everywhere.
Add just enough water and mix to create a pancake batter consistency. Put a lid on it and set it aside overnight. Next, feed the yeast.
I'm gonna dump about half of this out, all right? Because the yeast should be waking up and eating that cool food, those carbohydrates in there.
Then fill the container back up with an equal amount of flour and water. Then for 4 to 5 days every morning, repeat the process.
Yeah, I feed it, it puffs up, it has this amazing milky aroma, then it gets kind of sour towards the afternoon.
After about a week, the starter should be ready to use.
And you end up with something like this.
Finally, make the dough and bake the bread.
I'm gonna take 1,000 grams of flour, and I'm gonna take 700 grams of water.
Add the water to the bowl, then add about 1 cup of starter to the water. Mix it up by hand, then add the flour and mix it into a shaggy mass.
We're gonna take this kid, cover him up.
After 45 minutes, you'll add salt and water. Knead the dough by hand and then place it into a sealable container for about 25 minutes. Then sprinkle a little flour onto your cutting board and pour the dough onto it.
I'm gonna cut this guy in half. Boom. Boom.
Using a bench scraper, scoop under the halves and flip them over several times to create softball-sized loaves.
Flip it over in the basket. I'm just gonna pinch it on the bottom here so it's happy. And then I'm gonna cover these guys up.
Then place them in the fridge overnight. The next day, preheat your oven to 450 degrees with 2 cast iron pots inside. Then plop the dough balls into the pots and bake with the lids on for 25 minutes.
To create a small steam oven for us.
Then remove the lids and bake for another 25 minutes. Remove them from the oven and place on a rack for another hour.
So there you have it. When this guy is warm to the touch, not hot, it's ready to go.
Rising to the challenge with a sourdough starter is what's on the top of the list.